Hello, everyone. My name is Chris Mosier. I'm your discerning guide for our path in grateful truth. Today, we're going to talk about the phenomenon of craving and how one drink definitely doesn't mean one and done. I can remember in the days, in fact, it still hits me sometimes, this path that I go on with craving. It goes something like this. I like beer. I like beer a lot. If I have one beer, I usually get a whisper, let's have one more. If I have two beers, it starts to shout, let's have two more. If I get to four beers, I'll definitely hear it say, four more now. And usually by the time I get to that eighth beer, the floor isn't far behind. This is what is scientifically referred to as the phenomenon of craving. For me, it wasn't just the craving, it was the loss of inhibition that went with the craving. The bar was usually two beers. Right after that second beer, let's go. Let's drink more. Let's party more. Let's go to someone else's house. Let's get it on. Two was that magic number where I would be off to the races. Does this sound familiar? Maybe for you, it was the third shot of tequila. Maybe it was after a glass of wine. Perhaps it was that third margarita that did it. There's actually science, real science, behind this reality, this phenomenon of craving. It's a tendency that most normal drinkers don't have to face, but we professed alcoholics sure do. The cravings escalate and our inhibitions go down, and the withdrawal looms. Eventually, we no longer drink to just feel good, we're drinking to avoid feeling terrible. Ladies, you probably know this one even better than the guys do. After two beers, maybe three glasses of wine, the fun sure begins. Not only is your cravings increasing, but your inhibitions have fallen. This becomes somewhat referred to as a hellish cycle. Craving more while you're drinking is one aspect of craving. But there's also a second aspect, which is how often you drink. At first, you go through a really big night of drinking, you wake up with a hangover, and then you take several days off because you don't want any more. However, over time, that period in between starts to lapse. And you might go from 4 days off or 5 days off to suddenly only 3 days off or 2 days off. And the next thing you know, you're craving a drink in the morning. What do you think they developed Bloody Marys or hair of the dogs for? There are plenty of drinks in the morning that were designed just to handle those of us who craved more and craved it often. I had to draw some boundaries in my truths to be able to handle my cravings. Let me give you three examples that I came up with. Number one was no back to back days drinking, no matter what. Always make sure you have at least one day in between your drinking events. Number two, no more than 9 beers. Now, I know for a lot of you out there, you're thinking, oh my gosh, that's a lot of beers. It isn't that many for a guy my size. And number three is no drinking after 9 p.m. Nothing good happens after 9. I'm sure I just alienated some Gen Zs or Gen Ys or Gen others. But I'm here to tell you, after 9 o'clock, sure, the nightclub's open, but that's when some really bad things start to happen. Those are three rules that I incorporated in my grateful truce. Today, I'm able to live a normal life. I don't go to AA meetings. I am a definite professed alcoholic. and I've been surviving for over 12 years. This is one example of many that we'll talk about in the future in your path for your truce. Thanks so much for watching. This was video number 3. Have a great day.